The 2020 UIL State Wrestling Tournament kicked off Friday morning with some impressive performances on the boys' side. First up, at 106 pounds, Reagan's Zarek Hernandez in a tight battle with Prosper's Joseph Richardson. Hernandez scores an escape point and hangs on to win by a 3-0 decision in advance to the second round, where that momentum continues against Katie Morton Ranch's Douglas Melrose. This time locked in a 2-2 tie in the third period, Hernandez recorded 3 fall points with an impressive move to win by a 5-2 decision. He's on to the semifinals.
It's a move I like to use a lot. It's called the guillotine. Feels pretty good. He's a pretty tough kid, and I had to work hard.
At 113 pounds, San Marcos's David Banda notches a takedown on Haltom City Haltom's David Govea. Banda advances in a high-scoring affair 10-8, but he would fall in the second round. There's a great match at 120 pounds. Madison senior Juan Lugo down by 1 with 4 seconds left on the clock. Check out the tumble into a reversal, getting the call right before time expires. That clutch move means he moves on to the second round. Unfortunately, his tournament would end against Allen's Cade Moore by fall late in the second period. Next up, 138 pounds, Clemens' Deshaun Cosby takes care of business. Already working with a lead, Cosby gets the pin and the win just 12 seconds into the second period to advance. His second opponent, Weatherford's Mason Woodward, is dealing with a nagging injury, but Cosby shows no mercy, winning by 11-4 decision. He advances to the second day in winner's side.
I felt amazing during the periods. The last one I just went with was hard, but he was injured. So I had a lot of hard people in my tournament. I've had them since my freshman year when I was a runner-up, but I'm just happy.
Another back-and-forth battle at 152 pounds. Johnson's Caleb Sebra trading points with Amarillo Tascosa's Aaron Treviso, and Sebra gets the edge of the takedown late. He wins by a hard-fought 10-6 decision. That theme continues in the next round against Allen's Alejandro Cavazos, trailing 2-1 in the second period. Sebra takes control with an impressive stretch. The match takes its toll on Sebra, but he wins it 6-2, and he's moving on to tomorrow.
And when you're in a wrestling match, you can sense the amount of rage or the amount of strength your opponent is putting into you. So when I just felt that one muscle cell just drop, I knew his stamina's going down. This is my time to just go as much as I can. I'm just so grateful to God I got to do this.
Back to the Buffalo Stampede now. 160 pounds. Junior Darwin Hall in a tough second-round bout with Conroe Woodland Park's Jonathan Wirtz. Trailing 2-1 with the clock winding down, Hall just gets his hips around and gets the call with 1 second left on the clock to win in dramatic fashion, 3-2, and he will advance to tomorrow's semis. The 195-pound bracket was great for our local wrestlers in the opening round. Churchill's Chris Pruski was in total control against Katy Cinco Ranch's Jaden Turner. Pruski records the takedown and wins by major decision 15-7, but he would fall out of the championship bracket in the second round. Next up on the mats was Roosevelt's Marcos Mercado, and he also punches his ticket to the next round, pinning Cypress Creek's Jeremiah Howard halfway through the second period to move on. Unfortunately, his appearance in the quarterfinals would be short-lived, falling 36 seconds into his match. Next up, Lee senior Adam Bell takes the mats, and he advances in style, winning both of his first-round matches against Christian Mendez and Pedro Escobar by pin to advance to Day 2 on winner's side. And last but not least, at 285 pounds, New Braunfels senior George Marsh taking the floor at the Berry Center. First, he dispatches Cypress Ridge's Sylvester Villarreal in 42 seconds. Then in a much longer fight, Marsh tops Peyton Lavelle with a pin just 21 seconds into the third period to advance. Now he's 1 win away from a return to the state championship match.
I've been here 3 years in a row now. First year I got fourth, second year I got second, inching ever closer. Luckily, in that last match I got to go to the third period, got to feel what that was like in a high state of competition. So it's good to know that my capacity is there. I've got some endurance to do that. And I'm very happy with what this match says for myself as a wrestler and what I'm able to accomplish.
Meanwhile, in Class 5A, 182 pounds, Veterans Memorial senior Omari Frazier taking on Cannon Speck out of Dumas. Frazier gets the pin midway through the first period to advance, but he would fall by pin himself against Richmond Foster's Braun Howard in the next round. At 195 pounds, Burbank junior Matthew Salazar took the mats at the Cypress Center for the first time in Bulldog School history, and he didn't disappoint, topping Princeton's Kane Bentnall by 8-3 decision to advance. But his time in the championship bracket ended later on against El Paso Hanks Corbin Phelps in the second round. Still, a great first step for Burbank Wrestling.
It felt pretty good. I take it one match at a time. It's been a good opportunity for me. I get to see a lot of different level athletes, strong kids. kids who me and him are maybe the same type of wrestler, and it's been good.
There were just as many impressive performances on the girls' side. We started at 110 pounds. Lee sophomore Crystal Vanegas showed plenty of poise, first dispatching Scout Carell with a first-period pin, then defeating Louisville's Elsie Nelson via a 10-0 major decision. She's advancing to the next round.
Feels really good. I'm like happy. I was really nervous, but now I feel better. I just thought about it like my coach says, one match at a time. Instead of thinking like about the finals and stuff, just that one match.
228 pounds now, San Marcos's Gianna Moreno keeps her undefeated record intact, beating Deborah Hubbard via 16-3 major decision and then recording a second-round pin to punch her tickets to Saturday's championship semifinal. At 138 pounds, Smithson Valley senior Isabella Ruiz going up against Rockwall Heath's Angelina Archuleta in the first round. Ruiz scores a late takedown and survives in the closing seconds to win a dramatic match by 8-7 decision, but she would fall in the second round. Canyon's Jillian Wold took a similar route. She won her opening round match over El Paso Franklin's Taylor Profit by fall just over a minute into the match, but Wold dropped her second round match by fall as well. There was another dramatic match at 165 pounds. Madison Jr. Carolyn Gonzalez against Clear Falls' Cameron Tressler tied at 7 in the closing seconds. Gonzalez notches the decisive takedown, and she punches her ticket into day 2 with a 9-7 decision. Her teammate Courtney Kemp battles Katie Seven Lakes' Anne-Marie Jensen in the opening round, and she scores a pin late in the second period, but Kemp would fall in the second round to Conroe's Arista Najera. And last but not least, Steel senior Treya Haynes looked dominant in both of her matches, notching pins against Emily Lozano and Caitlin Allen, each coming just over a minute into the first period. Haynes is heading back to the state semis for the second straight season.
It honestly feels great. Having to come to state again is an amazing feeling. Just trying to do my best and work hard and my coach really helped coach me on to get back up and keep going.
The state semifinals kick off tomorrow morning with the boys bright and early at 8:30 a.m. and the Parade of Champions starts off the final festivities at 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. From Cypress, Andrew Seeley, KSAT 12 Sports.